Pokemon 151 and Crown Zenith are arguably two of the best modern era sets from the Sword and Shield era and the Scarlet and Violet era, and today we'll be comparing both of them to see which one is the better set to invest in. They're both great, we can't deny that. Which is best, not only for your money, but for the long term? I'm going to do the breakdown. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so today we are taking a look at Crown Zenith and Pokemon 151. Both sets are incredible. Crown Zenith came out at the beginning of the year, so it's nearly been out an entire year, whereas 151 has only been out, what, maybe 2-3 months, not even. So it's going to be interesting to see what has happened with both sets. So we've got Crown Zenith, which has been reprinted very much, heavily throughout the whole entire year, had a long release window. Single card prices have dropped because of the mass reprints, good pull rates as well. Then we have 151, which has much tougher pull rates than Crown Zenith, and it's only been out, like I say, 2 to 3 months. Probably is going to have way more reprints and restocks over the coming months, which will impact the prices. So we have to take that into consideration when comparing the two different sets. If we take a look at TCG Player today at both sets, let's get into Crown Zenith. Okay, starting things off, Crown Zenith ETB. We're going to be starting with the sealed product and then we're going to go into the single card. So the ETB is going to be the main product of both sets. So let's take a look at Crown Zenith. Now this got heavily reprinted. As you can see here, guys, we're looking at just under, well, basically $40. Okay, $40 for this ETB, and even over the past 3 months, it has dropped from 56 down to 40. So it's just had a recent restock / reprint. Now this is the main product. I mean, you have like collection boxes, mini tins, things like that, but it's mainly the ETB is the product that people are still after, and that gives us a good indication at how well the set is doing overall. If we go back over the past year, like I say, the set did come out in January. I know it's nearly been a year already. $64. That's pretty high, to be fair. $65 for this ETB, and it did shoot up on a hype. And I have to admit, Pokemon did a very good job at matching the demand, because this set had a huge demand. I mean, this was the final set in the Sword and Shield era. When people open up V-Star Universe, which was the set that became Crown Zenith, people knew that Crown Zenith was going to be the real deal because of how great V-Star Universe was. So that caused a massive influx in popularity and caused the price to go up because of it. But Pokemon, they did well. Like I say, they did well. They printed a ton of product, maybe a little bit too much. I kind of feel like they should calm down a bit because there's still so much Crown Zenith out there, but it's still dropping. I mean, you can pick them up for, like I say, $40 an ETB. Over here in the UK, you can pick them up for anywhere between $40 to $45 for an ETB. So they're around about £4, roughly, £4 to £5 a booster pack. So they have been dropping in price. So it is pretty good to pick up some Crown Zenith right now. But let's take a look at the top big money cards of the set, because a lot of them are amazing, but they have been dropping in price. Now, how I value a set is I usually look at how many cards are between $30 and more. Okay, so anything above $30 or around $30, a decent amount of cards, I would say, makes up a set. So I'll give you an example. We don't really want a set, like Champion's Path as an example, which has 2 absolutely massive Charizards, and then the next card's like $9. That's not very good, right? Because you don't really realistically get your money's worth or have a chance of getting good value from your packs. You just don't, right? Unless you hit literally the lottery. Whereas you have a set like Evolving Skies, which does have quite a few basically lottery cards, but it also does have quite a decent amount of cards that are around about $30 or more. But the downside of Evolving Skies is the pull rates are absolutely terrible compared to Crown Zenith, where the pull rates are very good. Giratina at the moment, we're looking at around $70 for this card. It is the most expensive card in the set. It has held incredibly well. All things considered, by how much has been reprinted. Even in the past 3 months, it's dropped from 85 down to 70. We go back the past year, it's been out a year now. This card went up to 170 and then dropped ever since. And this is just due to reprints and the good pull rates as well, because it is tough to pull this card, but it's not like ridiculously tough. So that's one, problem. And a lot of the other cards in the set has followed the same way. So when we go back and we look at these cards, we've got the Arceus V-Star here, which is pretty good going, of course, $52, that's holding quite well. You got 45, we got 33 there, 32. So we've got 5 cards which are 30 or more. So if you look at the first page and you look at the lowest, so the lowest is about $6. So there's quite a few cards which are kind of more than the value of the pack. I mean, there's quite a few cards more than the value of the pack. We go to the second page as well. But overall, Crown Zenith does has a decent amount of hit that actually hold a decent amount of money compared to how much has been reprinted as well. And the thing is, because the pull rates are so good, you're quite highly likely to see quite a few of these cards, in all honesty. So yeah, Crown Zenith is pretty good. If I was to rate it out of 10 of how great I think this set is to to buy and to invest in. So I would probably give it an 8.5 out of 10, which is actually pretty strong. I think like I gave Evolving Skies a 9. I think the only thing that made Evolving Skies pretty good is, you know, top value cards, and then what made it bad was just like the pull rates, and obviously the price of product is just ridiculous right now. I think Crown Zenith is going to be good in the long haul. I feel like it's going to do better than things like Shining Fates, which did get heavily printed. I actually think it's going to do, well, definitely better than Pokemon Go. but I do also feel like it'll be better than Celebration. So I do think it's the best holiday set in the Sword and Shield era. Definitely better than Champion's Path as well. So Crown Zenith is a good one. I would highly suggest picking it up now just because it's so cheap. And even like the single cards, if there's cards that you want to get, now's obviously a really good time as well, just because they are super cheap and definitely worth adding into your collection. Right, now let's check 151. Right, let's look at the 151 ETB. Like I say, we're just going to compare the ETBs. Usually they're like the main product. Of course, there's mini tins, UPCs, things like that. So we're looking at the ETB right now, and we're looking at about $48. Now, this has actually dropped recently because there has been a reprint. There has been a reprint both over here in the UK and I believe over in the US as well. And obviously the booster bundles have been reprinted and restocked as well, which has helped because they've just gone up massively. I do like the idea of booster bundles. I like to see more of that moving forward. Just, you know, just boosters rather than all the extra stuff. This is still a solid ETB, you know, just like the Crown Zenith one. You get a ton of packs, you get a promo, you get all the accessories, and I think that's really good. Pokemon Center version of this and of the Crown Zenith one, I wouldn't open. I think they're probably the best products to pick up to keep sealed in the long term. But just the ETBs themselves, that Pokemon 151 is holding good value because there's such high demand for this. There isn't enough supply. There just isn't. The pull rates are really tough as well. You know, compared to Crown Zenith, it's really tough. But I do feel like there's a lot more cards in here which will hold more value because of nostalgia. Nostalgia is going to help carry this set in the long haul. We've seen it in the past with sets like Celebrations, and we've also seen it with sets like XY Evolutions. Anything based on like a base set or the 151, the OGs, will do incredibly well. Plus the artwork of all the cards in this set are just absolutely incredible, and the illustration rares as well. Let's jump into the cards and see what's going on. So with 151, of course, we've got the big boy Charizard sitting at roughly, you know, 116 to 120, so big money card, way more than the Giratina. But the Giratina was more. You know, in the past, this Charizard's only reached highs like 120, 130, whereas the Giratina was 170. Don't forget, Giratina has dropped over a year, or nearly a year, of printing, basically, of releases. So that's why it's dropped. This is only, you know, been 2-3 months. So take a pinch of salt with all of these cards, because I do expect them to drop when we go into 2024 and beyond, because there's going to be a lot of this product going around. You know, we've got the Blastoise coming in at 42. So again, we want to be looking at cards where they're $30 or more. And this set does have a fair few, to be fair. Similar to Crown Zenith. Charizard, we're looking at 115. You know, you're looking at the Blastoise at 42. The Zapdos at 40, the Venusaur at 40, got the Charizard Full Art at 37, the Alakazam at 32, 33, and the Charmander is pretty much 30. I mean, it's like 29, right? So, you know, you have 7 cards that are 30 or more, with one of those cards being $115 is pretty high. But then also you got good value as well. I mean, like I say, so we look at the first page, the cheapest card on the first page is nearly $10. Crown Zenith was $6, so that's pretty good going. Different to Crown Zenith. Crown Zenith has good pull rates, and I said, like, look, you have a good chance of pulling all those cards on that first page in Crown Zenith, just because the pull rates are so good. Whereas this, it's going to be tougher. It kind of is a bummer when that happens when you open in packs, but for value and for, like, the desirability of these cards, it will hold. And people will be wanting these cards much into the future. People could be looking back at 151 and be like, you know what, I really want to open this set, and I think this is going to do very well. I think this set is going to be probably one of the best holiday sets we've had since Hidden Fates. Hidden Fates is an incredibly strong powerhouse of a holiday set, to be honest. It's held incredible value through tons of reprints. The cards are holding value, now they're starting to go up. I think 151 will drop in 2024, but I think maybe when we look into the back end of 2025, going to 2026 and beyond, where, you know, stock dries up, you know, the pull rates are tough, so we're going to start seeing the uptick of these cards, but I don't know how low these will go, and I also don't know how much stock and reprints Pokemon will do. You know, if they reprint this at the same level as Crown Zenith, these cards could absolutely plummet. So we'll have to wait and see, but I do feel like this is still a very, very strong set, and nostalgia will play a huge part in the future. So what would I give this out of 10 compared to Crown Zenith? Now, I gave Crown Zenith an 8.5. it is a good set. I would say 151 is going to have to be a 9. I'm going to have to give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's kind of on the same level as Evolving Skies. You know, there are a ton of cards in Evolved Skies that people want. There are a ton of cards in here that people want. I think the nostalgia will keep people wanting this set in the future. And the pull rate's kind of similar to Evolving Skies. I think it's slightly better than Evolving Skies, but unlike that level being pretty poor, will have an impact at keeping these card values high and will do pretty well in the long run. Plus, I mean, you know, everybody loves a good Charizard, Blastoise and Venusaur, as well as the whole evolution line of all of these cards in this set. It's just a shame that the Mewtwo is not in here, or the Special Illustration Rare Mew, but we can't have it all as they're all in the UPC. But this is still a fantastic set. I would say 9 out of 10, definitely going to be good. There you have it, guys. That's Crown Zenith and 151. I would say 151 is better than Crown Zenith. I think the reprints have really hurt Crown Zenith. If 151 does go down the route of the same amount as Crown Zenith over a 12-month period, then I would probably still say 151 is going to be better. Only because it has the nostalgia factor to it. And on top of that, the pull rates are pretty tough. Yes, Crown Zenith pull rates are very good and fun to open, but that also means that the cards will have less value, which then also means that the set will become less desirable to open in the long run because, well, pretty much everybody's got everything. Whereas in 151, it's a whole different ball game and a whole different story. If you made this far into the video, guys, and you've enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button, make sure to subscribe for more Pokemon content. And also, guys, let me know down in the comments, are you Team Crown Zenith or Team 151? I'll be really interested to see which one do you think is your favourite. I mean, personally, I have to admit, I like 151 more. I haven't opened up anywhere near as much 151 as I have Crown Zenith. I'm aiming to open up some more 151 because I do want to have a nice collection of my favourite cards from the set, especially that Zapdos. I'm still eyeing that one up. But if you want to know what the top 10 most expensive cards are that got released this year in 2023, then make sure to click the video on screen right now. And if you watch more Pokemon content, guys, you know what to do. Make sure to smash that subscribe button. We are so close to 10k subscribers, guys. Let's get there. Alright, guys, that's it from me in this video. As always, you guys are the legends. I'll see you in the next one.